Yo, what is this? What kind of haircut is this? Subhanallah. Okay, Asalaamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Welcome to Salam Corner, and I welcome you to Salam Corner as well. So, Salam Corner, Salam means peace.
Okay.
So, Salam Corner, Peace Corner.
Okay.
So, we're trying to get rid of the ego, the arguments, the unnecessary confrontations, all that kind of stuff. And we just want to have nice, civilized discussions, fruitful discussions that we can learn from one another.
Yes.
So, if I'm not mistaken, is there another person that looks like you that comes here? He has the things on the floor, or is that you?
Originally, I came here and I had this kind of information.
Yes, it's you.
Yeah, on the floor.
Yes.
And then as time has progressed over the years,
Yeah.
I've brought chairs and so on. They can sit down and talk. Basically the same thing
Yes.
that you're doing here.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm Mr. IC3. The reason I'm Mr. IC3 because IC3 represents black.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
under the British system, the British state. Yeah.
Okay. What about me? Where do I? What am I? I want to be something as well.
Yeah, well, when you are something, whether you know or not. So whether you're Muslim or...
I think I'm more IC7, unknown.
No, your official classification is IC6.
Okay.
So that covers Jewish, Muslim, Buddhists, mixed
I'm
race.
Kurdish from Turkey.
Oh, Kurdish.
From Turkey, yeah.
Right.
Oh, I'm special. I got a special.
Oh yeah.
Am I ICCC?
Let me give you some information about.
Okay.
Wow, very interesting. So, officially,
Yes.
you said you were Kurdish from Turkey.
Yes.
So look, Kurdish people are OKRD, Kurdish.
Yes.
And they are classified with the Arabs and the mixed race,
Okay.
yes? But what's interesting here is that Turkish people, look, there's three types of Turkish. So the British state recognizes Turkish people as white and Kurdish people as Muslim or Arab. So I don't know could you tell me why you think the British would separate the Turkish from the
That's quite interesting.
Kurdish? I have some ideas,
Do you think they are?
but I don't know.
Do you think some part of Turkey to the European side, or maybe that they come from the Roman, the Byzantine? Is there some kind of history there? Did you
There's
say?
definitely some history,
Yeah.
definitely history that I don't know, and it's very hard to extract that information from the British state because
Okay.
you've got to do a freedom of information request. And when you do a freedom of information request, you've got to know how to ask the right question. Otherwise, they'll say that we don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right.
Right. So what you assume, I would agree with you that goes way back in history. I suspect by speaking to many Turkish and Kurdish people over the years, it appears that the Kurdish people have something to do with Saladin.
Saladin al-Ayyubi, yes.
Yeah, and Saladin was fighting against the Crusaders or
Yes,
something
yes,
like that.
yes, yes.
So it could be why. Yeah, that's right. So I
Okay.
suspect that the Kurdish people are seen as the enemy of the early Christian Crusaders.
Okay.
So they'll never classify you as white.
Okay.
They see that that's why I suspect. I don't know.
Okay.
But the Turkish people, they don't like.
Can I ask you, what is your purpose? Like, what do you do? What's your purpose of coming to the park?
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit so people get context? Because
Yes.
obviously people don't understand. That's very interesting.
Yes.
Why do you do this? What's the purpose? Tell us a bit more.
Right. So the reason I come to the park, or my position here in the park, is I speak about fundamentally identity politics.
Okay.
Identity politics, as far as I understand, covers all subjects. Because if you say you're a Muslim, you have to identify as a Muslim.
Yeah.
If you say you're a Christian, you have to identify as a Christian. But you cannot tell visually the difference between a Muslim and a Christian, or a real Muslim and a fake Muslim.
Okay, yeah.
So
it's more
all
internal.
of this.
In Islam, we believe it's internal.
Exactly.
Because just to add on that, because we're bouncing off each other, is
Yeah.
that in Islam, there were people who were known as the munafiq, the hypocrites.
Sorry?
Munafiq.
Munafiq.
Yeah, so they were known as the hypocrites. They would claim on their tongue they're Muslim, but in their hearts they were disbelievers.
Right.
So we can't know who is what.
Right. So therefore, you have an identity issue.
Yes.
And the next level would be who can identify a real Muslim from a fake Muslim?
God.
Some people. Right. Some people would say
Internal.
only Allah can tell the difference between a real Muslim and a fake Muslim, whilst others would say, no, the normal people should be able to see by their fruits or their works whether this Muslim is a good Muslim or a bad Muslim, or Christian or Jew, is it a real Jew or not?
Yeah, or like a real Greek or fake.
Yes. So
where does he
that's.
fit in?
Are you Greek?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, he's with a white.
Hold on.
You idiot. What are you, Ali?
What?
I'm good. I'm with a.
Hold it.
So you're,
Let's slow down.
You're
Let's-
dark and South European.
Nah, bro, I'm somewhere
Hold
else.
on.
I'm unknown. I'm IC7.
Slow down. So, if he says he's Greek, right? No person can be Greek and Muslim at the same time. Because
There's a chance. There's a chance.
Because look, see, Greek. There's three types of
white
Greek.
race.
Yeah, and the Greeks are represented
Aryan.
as white people. Yeah, see, that's by British standards.
But look who else is there. Look, the Turks are there.
The Turks there.
But the Kurds, go to Kurds. Where's Kurds?
Yeah, the Kurdish are put with the Arabs here.
Look, other race.
Ali, that makes you happy, doesn't it? Yeah, look, loves
Look, Kurdistan.
Ali's an Arab.
Hello, how you doing, madam? I'm just finding my identity. I'm quite lost at the moment.
So that's Kurdish. Are you Moroccan? Look, here's Moroccan.
Yeah.
Moroccan, yeah.
I'm about Irish.
Yeah, so you're with the Kurdish.
What's other race? So I'm other race.
Me. I'm other race.
Yeah.
It means I'm special.
You're other than white.
I like the way you're saying you're Kurdish now. It's very
Irish,
good.
yeah, Irish.
Be
This
patriotic,
is
Ali.
Irish. There's two types of Irish. There's
Dawood,
white
what's the-
Irish and white traveller of Irish heritage. No, two different types of.
Sorry,
two
come here,
types-
madam.
Two different types of
You
Irish.
can come here.
Yeah.
Madam.
That's the British.
You can come here. You can come here.
view. So Kurdish and Turkish are not the same.
No.
Okay, yeah. So you're involved in identity politics.
Yes.
Why? Why
Right.
out of everything that? Why?
Right, because identity politics is the ultimate subject. Because as we discussed earlier, how do you differentiate between a true Muslim and a fake Muslim?
Okay.
Some would say only Allah can tell
Yes.
the difference between
It's
true and fake.
internal, yeah.
But there are others who would say that your fellow members should also tell.
You reminded me of something. Umar
Okay.
ibn Khattab, one of the second caliph of Islam, said that before, because some people say, don't judge me when I'm sinning. Yeah?
Yes.
Umar ibn Khattab said, we used to judge by revelation. The revelation is stopped now. We judge by what's apparent.
Hear that? Very serious. It's very serious.
Very serious. I'm Kurdish and serious.
You know, because to judge by what's apparent is they're going to judge you by your actions, correct?
Yes.
And what you're doing.
Yes.
And then this leads me on to the question that I wanted to
How,
ask
how you hold the camera.
Right. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah. So, which moves on to the next question. That I understand that there's a Muslim, muhshin, and muhmin.
Muslim, mukhlis and mu'min, I think.
Say it again.
Muslim,
Muslim.
mukhlis and
So slow down. Muslim,
mukhlis.
mukhlis,
Yes, I think so, if I'm not mistaken. And mu'min.
mu'min, but I heard it's muhshin. Muhshin.
I'll double
what are the
check.
three?
I'll double check. But I know Muslim and mu'min. The mu'min is the one that's reached the pinnacle of belief.
Right.
And there's Muslim, because Allah says in the Quran, the Muslim man and the Muslim woman, the believing man and the believing woman. So Allah differentiates between the Muslim and the believing. And so He's made it seem to certain Arabs. So He said, don't say that you're a believer, you're a Muslim. So meaning you've submitted, but you haven't truly encompassed what belief means. Yeah.
Right. So, in your opinion, would the muhmin be able to? Would you be able to see the actions that a muhmin is a genuine Muslim?
Okay.
By their actions.
Just quickly, what does that cross over there?
One subject at a time. Yeah. Go on.
I would say, Dawah, is it central, the camera?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, can you make it a bit central?
Yeah.
I would say, from the outer apparent action, you might see someone dressed in, like you have people come here dressed in a certain white, holy looking, but internally we don't know. So from the parent, yes, you can say the actions that we see, we observe. So for example, the Prophet said to us, you cannot say that you know somebody. I think the Prophet said, Umar ibn Khattab, I can't remember. You do not know somebody until you've done business with them, you've traveled with them, and you've lived with them. So you can't come and say you know anybody until you've done this with, travel, and lived.
Wow.
And that's so true, because sometimes you think like, you know what, he's my friend. You get into business, he's somebody else. You travel with him, you live with him, the guys, he keeps picking his nose, or I don't know what kind of stuff, yeah? Or you live with him. So this is how you know a person.
Okay.
So we can judge, but internally we don't know.
Okay, so which side would you be on? Would you be on the side that says nobody can judge, only Allah knows the real Muslim or not?
Nah. So
No, slow down. Let me ask the question and then you. So there's two sides, I understand. One side is that only Allah knows the true Muslim and the fake Muslim. Leave that to Allah. No man can know. The other side is that the Muslim brothers and sisters can tell who are members of their family, and their judgment of the Muslim or Muhsin will be in harmony with Allah. They because they're following Allah, they will have the same insight and vision of Allah to a degree, and so they'll be able to tell whether somebody is true or false. So which side are you on?
Okay, what we say is the following. We say nobody can declare anyone a disbeliever, innovator, evildoer, unless there is apparent characteristics. So if somebody stamps on a Quran, we will say the action of that is disbelief. However, did he know that stepping on the Quran could render him, is he sane? So there's stuff that renders, but then you have certain groups that will come and deem anyone a disbeliever, innovator, and this is ignorance. This absolute ignorance, because this is matters of the scholars. So you cannot come and say. However, sorry, there's a camera.
Block the camera.
So the thing is, when it comes to that, it's very severe, because who is a Muslim or not, God knows really, but there's certain actions that we can see and say, hold on a second, this man is saying, oh, I bow down to Jesus. You're not a Muslim. Simple as that. You're not a Muslim, because you're doing something that is fundamentally against the teachings of Islam. So that renders your belief. Right.
Because by that person's actions, you can then make a decision, and the community can then make. The community of Islam can then make a judgment on that person.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Based on the action they do.
Right. And you follow that side.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay.
So there's a fine balance. Like, I can say, okay, he is a Muslim. I can't come and say he's a disbeliever, but his action that he's doing can confirm that to me. If he says, I believe Jesus is also a part of God, you're not a Muslim anymore.
Right.
The statement that you just uttered, you just left the fold of Islam.
The declaration.
Yeah. You just read. You just unify. Yeah.
Right. Good. Thank you. That's clear.
So how does that fit into what you do here?
Well, fundamentally, it fits in to whether identity once again.
Okay.
The Islamic community, from what you're saying, can identify a true Muslim by their actions or by their declaration.
Yes.
So I understand your position.
Yes.
So that was my question.
It was a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's cleared up now. Yeah,
so in a nutshell, you're trying to raise awareness. Like, are you happy with this? Do you have a problem with this? What is it that you like?
Right. Okay. So we move on to a higher level now, where my raising awareness of this information, I am making people aware of the British state opinion, not individuals. If you speak to individuals, they say, "Oh, that's racist," or "That's not racist." There are all kinds of confusion.
The British state see us.
Yeah, right. So I wash away all individual conversation about race and racism, and then I deal with what the power. Power is a state. They have the power to put you in prison, take you out, or even fight against your nation. So the only interest I have when it comes to talking about identity and race and ethnicity is what is the state position? What is the belief of the state?
Okay.
And then what is the religion So how I see this, just like you Muslims will have the Quran.
Yeah.
This is the British Quran here.
Ah, okay. I
Yeah,
see
that's
what you
how
mean.
serious.
Oh.
This is
So
their
that's how they
religion.
operate by,
Yeah.
and I've been doing it for years.
That's right. So this is the British state
Yeah.
faith
Yeah.
religion.
So
Yeah.
are you happy with this, or like are you opposing it?
Well, here's the challenge. You see, it's taken me many years to get this much information,
Wow.
and I've had to do it by freedom of information request.
Yes.
So that's a bit like prayer.
Yeah.
It's like sending a letter to God.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like prayer, you have to be very clear when you're communicating with the power.
Yes.
So, over the years, as I've tried to understand
Yeah.
this Quran, the British Quran,
Yeah.
I send information requests.
Yeah.
But if you send an information request to the state,
Yeah.
and you make a mistake in the way you're questioning,
Really?
yes, or in the words that you choose,
Yeah.
that you won't get your prayers answered. In other words, you won't get a response.
Serious?
You won't understand. Yeah. They will not give you more information. So in order to judge,
So how do you say it?
Hold it. In order to make a judgment
Yeah.
on this,
Yeah.
whether the British state is right or wrong,
Yeah.
I would have to know how they are using their Quran or their holy book. You know, so I know it exists. There it is.
Okay.
But I can't call them racist or discriminatory or unjust because I would have to get certain information about how it's being used in order to make a judgment on whether I believe it's good or it's bad.
So what's your decision? Is it good or bad?
I can't say because I'm constantly trying to gather
Okay.
more information.
Okay, look, forget the British government. You're asking them prayers, they're not answering. Pray to God straight.
Okay,
Yeah? Allah says
okay.
in the Quran, I respond to the caller that calls upon me. And he doesn't say Muslim. He says anyone that calls upon me, I respond to them.
Okay.
So I invite you to Islam. Take your shahada now. No, I'm joking. Thank you.
Yeah,
Is there anything
okay.
else that you would like to say? Like that we can inform the people?
We can finish it there and then continue at some other time.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I think that's been quite
It was
some
brilliant.
information. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What?
yeah.
Yeah, I see this a lot. What is this? Are you an undercover Christian? Be honest.
Okay. Yeah. My personal ideology
Yeah.
is I am a national racialist, not a national socialist. National racialist. And what does that mean? That means I believe that a nation conserves a race, like conservatives.
Yes.
So like a conservative party is supposed to be conserving something. So what are they conserving?
Okay.
Right? So national racialism means a nation conserves a race and a race conserves a nation. And then ethnicities come under race.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's
Yeah.
actually very informative.
Yeah,
Brothers
so-
and sisters, hope you guys have learned. Is that a Nazi cross?
Okay. So the question
Do
is
you want to come and ask? Well, okay, one second.
Okay.
We're going to finish the discussion. Thank you for watching, brothers and sisters. Dawah's going to have a discussion now, asking some information about what this means.
okay.
What is this paranormal activity?